Here's an Australian one this time. It's called the Queensland Drovers. There was about 160 or 170,000 men, women, and in some cases children transported to Australia between the late 1700s and the late 1800s. For about 80 or 90 years, they had this social relocation program. And there were no arrangements to bring these people back home. Home would be from Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales. They were truly equal opportunity oppressors in the old days. It was a way to kind of clear the country of poor people, essentially. They criminalized poverty. A little girl who had stolen some clothing was sentenced to death, 10 years of age. There was 200 capital offences in the late 1700s on the books. And this little girl, languishing in prison, was very fortunate. She got reprieved. She got put on the first boatload of women to Australia, which was about 7 months after the first boatload of men arrived there. And my God, you should Google up the arrival of those women. It was a night of misrule in Australia. It's a very interesting, they even had a name that eludes me right now, but it's an interesting thing to read about. And this little girl then served her appointed time, whether it was, the minimum sentence was 7 years, so she might have done 7 or 14 years. Anyway, out of that she came and became a very successful businesswoman. And it goes back to a time, of course, when they used to say the sun never set on the British Empire. That's God trusted in the dark, you know. Those are days in the past. And Australia has worked out rather well, including because of this very unusual, because the whole continent was considered a penal colony. In fact, towards the late 1800s, the 1860s and so forth, there were people calculating crimes that would get them to Australia and get them topped. So they had to be careful. One of the first persons sent to Australia had stolen a book. Just a regular book. Another fella had stolen a dozen cucumber plants, in which they got 7 years in Australia. Here's the song for you. It's not about transportation, it's just about people working in Australia. If you ever saw that movie, I think it was with Robert Mitchum, The Overlanders, popular movie back in the Neolithic period. There's a trade you all know well, and it's bringing cattle over. And every track from the Gulf and back were known as the Queensland's Drovers. Pass the billy round, boys, don't let the pint pot stand there, for tonight we drink the health of every overlander. Well, we come from all around, from France and Spain and Flanders. We're a right mixed lot, both black and white, with the Queensland's overlanders. Pass the billy round, boys, don't let the pint pot stand there, for tonight we drink the health of every overlander. When we've earned a spree in town, we live like pigs and clover, and many's a check goes down the neck of many's the Queensland's Drovers. Pass the billy round, boys, don't let the pint pot stand there, oh tonight we drink the health of every overlander. As I pass along the road, oh, the children raise me dander, saying, "Mother, quick, bring in the clothes, here comes an overlander." Pass the billy round, boys, don't let the pint pot stand there, for tonight we drink the health of every overlander. Well, now I'm homeward bound on a brand that's nice and easy, and I'll get a job with a crawling mob on the banks of the Maranoa. Pass the billy round, boys, don't let the pint pot stand there, oh tonight we drink the health of every